In the shadowed corridors of a forgotten monastery, tucked away in the rugged hills of southern France, a secret long buried by time was uncovered. Hidden behind a crumbling stone wall, wrapped in faded linen, lay a manuscript that had been sealed, away for centuries, not out of superstition, but out of fear. This wasn't just another relic of a bygone era. It was a roadmap, a minute-by-minute guide describing what happens to the soul after the heart stops beating, spanning not just moments, but a full 31 days of transformation beyond death. Written in a mix of Greek, Hebrew, and a language no scholar has yet fully deciphered, the manuscript described the journey not through one religious lens, but through a universal truth echoed across civilizations, from Egyptian tombs to Tibetan scriptures to the silent rituals of indigenous peoples. But why was it hidden? Because the truths it revealed challenged every structure built to control human souls through fear. It whispered a radical idea, that life does not end with death, that consciousness continues its journey, shaped not by external judgments, but by the internal echoes of our own choices, regrets, and acts of love. If humanity had truly embraced what this manuscript taught, no system of fear, shame, or punishment could have survived. Powerful institutions saw it as a threat, and so they buried it, burned it, erased it from memory where they could. Yet, some fragments survived, passed through secret societies, preserved by whispers in the dark, and now they are resurfacing. Today, you are standing at the threshold of that ancient doorway, a chance to glimpse what few have dared to know and even fewer have understood. This journey isn't about superstition. It's not about fear. It's about reclaiming the profound truth of what it means to live, by understanding what it truly means to die. If you're ready to see beyond the veil, if you've ever wondered what truly happens after your final breath, then stay with me. Together, we'll walk this sacred path, day by day, revelation by revelation, because once you know what waits beyond, you'll never live the same way again.
Day 1. The separation from the body.
Death often arrives not with a roar, but with a whisper. One moment, your lungs are struggling for air, your heart is laboring against gravity, and the next, silence. At first, you don't realize it's over. You still feel present. You still think, observe, remember. You hover inches above your own body, watching the scene below unfold. Doctors shouting, monitors flatlining, tears streaming down familiar faces. You want to reach out, to tell them, you're still here. You open your mouth, but no sound comes. You stretch out your hands, but they pass through the air like mist. That's when you notice the cord. The ancient traditions spoke of it. A silver cord, shimmering faintly, stretching from the center of your being down to your lifeless form. It pulses with a rhythm that's not quite heartbeat, not quite breath, but something older. This cord is your final anchor to the world of flesh. As long as it vibrates, a part of you is still tethered. But when it severs, and it always does, the connection to the physical world is gone. The severing can be gentle, like the last thread snapping in a breeze, or violent, like a rope breaking under strain. It depends on how you lived, how you let go, and when it breaks, you are free. Utterly, terrifyingly free. Some souls experience a wave of pure relief, like stepping out of heavy armor after a lifelong battle. Others feel a panic rising, a desperate longing to return, to fix, to finish something left undone. But regardless of the emotion, the truth settles in your bones. The body is no longer your home. You stand now at the threshold of a journey greater than anything you ever imagined.
Days 2 to 4. Realizing death.
The mind is slow to catch up. Even after the cord breaks, a part of you refuses to believe. You move through familiar places, your bedroom, your kitchen, your favorite chair, expecting to feel, to smell, to touch. But everything is different. Colors seem muted, walls seem thinner, voices sound like echoes from underwater. You try to touch your loved ones. Your hand passes through their shoulders like a cold breeze. You call their names and they do not even shiver. The truth comes in waves, a dawning horror, a creeping acceptance. You are dead, yet strangely, you still feel alive. You think, you feel emotions, sharper now, more vibrant. You remember who you were, your name, your dreams, your regrets. But there's a veil now, a mist that separates you from everything you once thought permanent. Some souls stay stuck in these days, looping endlessly through old routines, trying to eat meals, trying to work jobs, trying to exist in a world that no longer recognizes them. Others begin to sense a pull, an invitation towards something unseen. Soft lights at the edges of vision, whispers in a language older than words. Spiritual guides stand nearby, watching, waiting. They cannot force. They can only offer presence, patience, and love. Meanwhile, on Earth, traditions across cultures honor these days with prayers, candles, and rituals, not for superstition, but because these acts truly matter. Intentions sent with love can pierce the veil, guiding the soul toward awakening. Because before you can journey onward, you must first understand, you are no longer living, but you are far from gone.
Days 5 to 7. The Life Review.
And then the mirror appears, not a physical mirror, but a mirror of the soul. It reflects not your face, but your life. Raw, unfiltered, undeniable. You stand before yourself, not the version you hoped to be, but the one you truly were. Not judged by external rules or religious doctrines, but by the pure resonance of your own being. You experience the life review. It does not unfold like a movie. It hits you like a flood. You feel every kindness you ever offered, the time you helped a stranger, the nights you comforted a child, the sacrifices no one saw. You feel every hurt you caused, the careless words that broke someone's spirit, the betrayals you tried to forget, the opportunities for love that you let slip by, but you do not experience them as memories. You become the other person. You feel the sting of your words in their chest. You feel the warmth of your kindness in their healing. This is not punishment. It is not shame. It is truth. And truth is not always easy. Some souls resist, shrinking into guilt, horror, or denial. They clutch their regrets like anchors, sinking into self-created shadows. Others embrace the revelation. They see their mistakes without excuses. They see their virtues without pride. They accept the tapestry of light and dark they wove with every breath. Forgiveness becomes the doorway forward. Forgiveness of yourself. Forgiveness of those who wronged you. Forgiveness of a life that was never meant to be perfect, only honest. Your guide stands silently by, not judging, not intervening, only radiating love, reminding you, you are more than your worst moment. You are the sum of every choice, every breath, every heartbeat that shaped your soul. The life review is brutal, beautiful, humbling. It shows you where you gave love freely, where you withheld it, where you rose above fear, where you gave in to it. It invites you to see yourself as you are, not as a sinner, not as a saint, but as a soul learning, stumbling, growing. And when you can look upon your life with clarity, with compassion, without defense, the weight begins to lift. The river of the next stage beckons you onward, and for the first time since your heart stopped, you realize, this is not the end. It's only the beginning.
Days 8 to 10. The Threshold. Facing the invisible barriers.
After the life review, the soul faces its next challenge, the threshold. You don't walk into this place. You become it. The threshold isn't a doorway you can see or touch. It's a vibrational crossing, an invisible wall made of everything you haven't healed yet. Fear, attachment, guilt, unforgiveness. Each forms a layer of fog, shadows swirling around you, and the only way forward is through. Some describe it as a dark valley where your own fears take shape. You hear voices, your own regrets calling back to you. You see illusions, faces of those you harmed or who harmed you. distorted by sorrow or rage. It is not a punishment. It is a mirror. One last confrontation with the parts of yourself still clinging to the old world. Guides are present, silent, luminous presences standing at the edges of the fog, offering strength without interfering. They cannot carry you. They can only light the way if you are willing to see. Some souls become trapped here. They wander in endless loops of fear too, terrified to move forward, too stubborn to let go. Others surrender. They see the shadows, name them, embrace them, and in doing so, the fog begins to lift. Crossing the threshold is like shedding a heavy cloak soaked in sorrow. You emerge lighter, brighter, closer to the truth of who you really are. And ahead, the next journey begins.
Days 11-13. Reunion with ancestors. Meeting your spirit family.
Beyond the threshold, the soul steps into a landscape unlike any known on Earth. The air is shimmering, filled with soft music. You feel more. Then here and then, you sense them, your ancestors. They come not to judge, but to welcome. They are not always the faces you expect. Sometimes it's a grandparent you barely knew. Sometimes it's a spiritual mentor from lifetimes you don't consciously remember. Sometimes it's a radiant being that feels like home itself. They embrace you not with arms but with light. They surround you with remembrance. You are not alone. You never were. This reunion heals ancient wounds. The words never spoken between parent and child. The loves lost across wars and migrations. The sacrifices forgotten by time. And it is not just personal. It is cosmic. You realize you are part of a tapestry, a living lineage that stretches back beyond human history, a song sung across generations. The ancestors offer guidance. Sometimes it's a feeling. Sometimes it's an image. Sometimes it's a silent knowing. They help you understand not only where you came from, but where you are meant to go next. But this reunion is not automatic. Souls still clinging to anger, shame, or denial may not perceive their ancestors at first. Only when the heart is light enough does the music of the reunion reach your ears. Love is the bridge, and when you walk it, you walk into eternity.
Days 14-16. The soul's choice. Deciding the next path.
After the embrace of the ancestors, a profound decision stands before you. But it is not a decision made with words. It is made with vibration, with the resonance of your soul's true state. 3 main paths open. Ascension to higher realms. Souls who have released fear, embraced love, and expanded consciousness are drawn upward to realms of light, learning, and creative service. Immediate reincarnation souls who still have vital lessons to complete, deep bonds to fulfill, or karmic debts to resolve may feel pulled back toward earthly existence. Lingering in the lower realm souls who refuse to let go of anger, obsession, or material attachment may become stuck in heavy, misty regions near the physical world, what some traditions call earthbound spirits. This isn't about being sent anywhere. No gatekeeper decides. No external judge rules. You become where you belong. The vibration you carried through life, the sum of your thoughts, choices, loves, and fears, creates a magnetic pull toward your next destination. Some souls choose quickly, drawn like stars to constellations they forgot they were part of. Others hesitate, torn by lingering attachments. And even now, the living can help. Prayers, acts of love, rituals performed in the soul's name. They create currents of light that can lift a faltering soul, helping them choose the path of growth. Because us, even across worlds, still has power.
Days 17-20. The plane of memories. Letting go of Earth.
Before fully stepping onto the new path, there is one last sacred task, the great release. The soul revisits the tapestry of its earthly life, not as a judgment but as a farewell. You walk the streets of your childhood town. You stand silently beside the ones you loved. You visit the graves of those who shaped you. You linger over scenes of laughter, pain, victory, loss, but this time, you do not cling. You see it all for what it is: beautiful, impermanent, sacred. You are not erasing memories. You are setting them free. You realize that titles, mother, engineer, veteran, artist, were roles you played, not who you are. You understand that wealth, status, fame, none of it crosses the veil. What endures is what was true. The love you gave freely, the courage you chose in fear, the authenticity you honored when no one was looking. The plane of memories is bittersweet. You weep for what you loved, you smile for what you survived. You bow in gratitude for the lessons earned at such a high cost, and as you let each memory go, one by one, the soul grows lighter. The burdens fall away, the regrets dissolve, the attachments loosen. You are no longer defined by your past. You are no longer chained to earth. You are ready to step fully into who you were always meant to be. And beyond the horizon, a new world waits, built not by hands, but by the resonance of the soul itself.
Days 21 to 24. The expansion of consciousness. Remembering who you are.
Beyond the plane of memories, the soul enters a realm where there are no more streets to walk, no more bodies to touch, no more echoes of the old life to follow. Here, consciousness expands, unfolding like a 1,000-petaled flower. You are no longer confined to a single perspective. You feel yourself as a point of awareness within an ocean of awareness. Time dissolves. Past, present, and future mingle like rivers feeding the same sea. You no longer see through eyes. You are the seeing itself. In this realm, many souls encounter presences, beings of light, archetypal energies, luminous guides. But here, communication isn't through words. It's immediate, telepathic, heart to heart. You are understood before you even form a thought. Here, the soul remembers why it chose the life it lived, what lessons it sought, what agreements it made with others before birth, what promises it kept, and what promises it postponed. You see the hidden meaning behind every joy, every sorrow. You understand why you met certain people, why you faced certain trials, why some doors closed while others opened. And most shockingly, you realize the depth of your own participation in creating your life. You were never a victim. You were a co-creator, even in your unconsciousness. This revelation is not meant to shame. It is meant to empower, because now you know, you are not a random accident. You are a soul with purpose, woven from stardust and eternity, and the remembrance awakens a joy deeper than any happiness you ever knew. You are home within yourself. And from this home, new horizons unfold.
Days 25 to 27. Vibrational alignment. Moving toward your true destination.
As consciousness expands, a natural sorting begins. It's not a judgment. It's a resonance. You are drawn toward the plane of existence that matches the frequency of your soul. If your being resonates with compassion, wisdom, and truth, you are lifted effortlessly toward higher realms of service, learning, and creation. If your being still clings to fear, resentment, or attachment, you find yourself aligned with realms where those energies are gently, persistently healed. The shift is magnetic, inevitable, organic. Imagine standing in a great cathedral where invisible choirs sing different songs. You drift naturally toward the song that feels most like your own heartbeat. No one assigns you a place. No one forces you. You become your own destination. In higher planes, souls engage in work of immense beauty, healing those still wounded, guiding newly arriving souls, creating new worlds with the sheer power of conscious intention. In mid-level planes, souls continue learning, growing, preparing for future incarnations with greater awareness. In lower planes, healing continues, but more slowly, more densely, until the soul is ready to rise. Even here, prayers, acts of love, and light sent by. The living can lift a soul higher, can ease its transition into the plane of grace. Because love knows no walls, love knows no end.
Days 28 to 30. The final window. The last chance for
In these last days of the 31-day journey, the soul stands at the final crossing. This is the final window, a brief sacred period when the soul's path is still malleable, still responsive to influence. If the soul hesitates, still burdened by earthly attachments, it can still be helped. Prayers, candles, masses, rituals performed on earth send beams of light piercing through the veils. They reach the soul, not as words, but as feelings, reminders of love, invitations to trust, encouragement to step fully into the next realm. This is why so many cultures honor the dead for 30 days. It's not mere tradition, it's cosmic compassion. In these final days, the soul often stands at the edge of its chosen plane, feeling its pull, but also sensing the echoes of the life left behind. It is like a swimmer pausing before diving into a vast, luminous ocean. A final choice must be made, to cling or to trust, to fear or to fly. And once the choice is made, the window begins to close. Slowly, gracefully, the soul's vibration seals its place in the new reality it has earned, created and resonated with, and then the passage is complete. The 31st day dawns not with sound, but with vibration. The soul, having traveled through separation, realization, reflection, and expansion, now stands ready to fully step into the reality it has chosen. Through every thought, every act, every intention it carried across lifetimes, the veils that once separated worlds have thinned. The pull of the new plane is no longer gentle, it is absolute. There is no fear now, no hesitation, only acceptance. The soul moves with grace, carried, not by will but by resonance. It is drawn, like a drop of water returning to the sea it always belonged to. For some, this entrance feels like awakening from a long, strange dream, stepping into a brightness so profound it feels like returning home after an endless exile. For others, it is a quieter transition, a drifting into realms where healing, learning, and remembering continue under the gentle guidance of those who came before. Regardless of the destination, one truth sings clear. Death was never the end. It was the great beginning. In the new plane, the soul's real journey continues, no longer burdened by the illusions of flesh and fear, but now consciously participating in the eternal dance of creation, learning, service, and love. This is why ancient traditions spoke of death not as a punishment, but as a sacred passage. It is the harvest of a life sown in countless moments, each breath, each choice, each act of courage or fear, each whisper of love or bitterness, woven into a tapestry that reveals its full pattern only when the body falls away. And for those of us still living, the manuscript leaves a clear and powerful invitation. Live now with presence. Choose love over fear. Forgive quickly. Hold nothing that weighs your soul down. Cultivate inner light, because it is the only currency that matters when the veils fall. The 31 days after death are not something to fear. They are something to prepare for. With every heartbeat, every breath, every act of kindness you choose today. Because the life you live now shapes the reality you will enter then. And when your 31st day comes, may you step into your chosen, plane with wings of light, carried by the music of a soul that remembered its truth. Home at last.